So Gabriella Peruzzi leading up this climb on the first of the two freestyle legs. Anita Moen in second place. Olga Zabielova, bronze medal from the 15K Classic, in third place. Just behind Christina Smiegen in fourth. Becky Scott beginning to get back in the action there. Six is Sackenbacher and Kunzel going with her. So two Germans in the pack. And after yesterday's Axel Teichmann success, the spirits in the German camp really, really high.
Going into the exchange here, flipping off their boots, going into their skate boots, then they'll switch off their poles. You can just see how quick Gabriella Peruzzi was in the box there.
26 seconds, and here we are back live on this remorseless climb. And Hilda Pedersen going really well. Just turning the screw a little bit there on Vibeke Skotterud. Just finding it tough to stay with them. Zabielova.
I'm very impressed with our early favorites. Just racing super, super smart, just staying in the game, near the lead, but not in the lead, so that they're getting a little bit of the draft effect. Look for big things from Smiegen and Sackenbacher and Becky Scott. They're running about 4th, 5th, and 6th right now.
Nagakina from almost nowhere. She's moved up now in the red group, but Verke Kutanen, the defending champion, not at the moment looking like holding on to the title in this new version. But Peruzzi bidding to give Italy its first medal at these championships. And it will be a huge boost. Hilda Pedersen looking, she's covering every move, Hilda Pedersen. Zabielova. Pressure coming on to Zabielova. Christina Smiegen will need to get past her, but look at the move there by Evie Sackenbacher. This is reminiscent of what we've come to expect from her in the sprints. She has this dynamite finish, but we are a long way from the finish. Remember, they've got to come back into the stadium and go out on this climb again.
They're just looking to establish position here, get in a good position coming in for when they come into the stadium, and then start out on the next loop. The grinding tempo of Gabriella Peruzzi breaking up the field.
She certainly strung the field out in Indian file, but there are plenty of challengers there. But Peruzzi. Oh, now this is where it gets dangerous. This is shades of Matti Fredriksson, who fell while he was trying to avoid Thomas Olsgaard. But here they come into the stadium looking for positions. That Nagakina in the yellow might well be. I think it is, actually. Just to figure out 6. Evie Sackenbacher. But it is Nagakina in the yellow there, pursuing Zabielova. And on the left of the screen, it's Evie Sackenbacher now leading Peruzzi. Hilda Pedersen third on that right-hand file as they take the bottom turn.
10 racers all within 2 seconds. This is going to make for some dynamite racing in the last 2.5K.
Yes. Becky Scott still there. Shevchenko, Burakina, who's not really done anything. And Majic is in 10th place. You can just see her. She's the penultimate racer at the back of that group there. Becky Scott just weaving her way into a challenging position. And look at this for a fight. Peruzzi back in the lead. Pedersen going with her as well.
For those racers not completely sure of their form coming to the last 150 meters, this has got to be the time. They have to be thinking, now I got to make a move.
Claudia Kunzel on the left at the back of the pack, trying to join on there. Kirsi Valima of Finland. And the attack going now. Becky Scott trying to put herself in a strong position. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is to lead coming down the hill into the stadium.
Oh, absolutely. How this course goes with these long, quick downhills, they're going to be reaching 60 kilometers an hour. You definitely get a draft effect sitting in behind somebody. I just see Becky Scott right now, she was just moving up there. She was just trying to get into position, just doesn't want anything to happen. And she wants to be able to cover everybody else's move.
So the Olympic pursuit silver medalist finding a position, putting pressure on Peruzzi. Look at Christina Smeagan wearing 2 on the right-hand side. She's now putting herself into the race. Becky Scott, who looks forward to getting married in the summer to your teammate Justin Wadsworth. In fact, it's going to be a summer of Canadian weddings, with Sarah Renner getting married to her boyfriend, the Canadian alpine skier Tommy Grandy. So I thought the interesting thing for Becky as she takes the lead was she said, oh yes, but the first baby's definitely going to be born with a Canadian passport. And that's Nagakina going down. And that's the reason why Nagakina finds herself at the back there, so she's got to work her way all the way round. But that's a great picture there. It really shows the remorselessness of this climb.
Yeah, they're going to be feeling their legs now.
So it's Becky Scott moving up here with Peruzzi on the far side there. It's Hilda Pedersen. This is where those who don't want to be involved in a sprint have got to make their move.
Yes, this is where they're really just going to try to throw huge amounts of lactate acid in the legs. You can see it's breaking up there. I think this might be the move that Becky Scott's going for. You can see it's looking like Smeagan's able to carry it, and so is Peruzzi's able to answer the challenge. But behind them, there's a moment of doubt, I believe.
Becky Scott looks okay. Peruzzi trying to put the pressure on again. Peruzzi, distance will be no problem for her, and she looked very strong as she went past Becky Scott. Becky Scott tucking into 3rd place now. Christina Smeagan, she's shadowing, isn't she?
Oh, definitely. Christina Smeagan just looks like a tiger ready to pounce.
Does she look like the smart racer in this race?
I think she's looking very, very smart. She hasn't had to do any work, but she stayed out of trouble and right near the lead.
Becky Scott having to work a little bit now to stay with the front 2. And also there's Zavialova, who I thought went through something of a bad patch, has put herself back in medal contention there. In 4th place, just behind Becky. This could come down to a race for 2 sets of medals, gold and silver and bronze.
If they keep it like this, though, I think it's just going to come down to it's going to be very, very interesting.
Hilda Pedersen, very impressed. She's on the far side wearing the white hat in the red strip for Norway. Very much in the fight. She is the main Norwegian. Zavialova in traffic problems. Becky Scott getting in her way as well, as Peruzzi was the real benefactor of that moment of confusion that happened behind. Zavialova 3rd. Becky Scott just dropping back now, and the shoulders are beginning to rock now.
Yeah, we'll have to see. She really has to. You have to stay tough right here on this course. You can see Sachsenbacher trying to cover that move. Peruzzi's really made it obvious what she's going to do. She just wants to grind it out of people. She's really, really going for it. I guess that's the way she thinks that she can win this.
1,100 meters to go, and Peruzzi with Smeagan, who is going to wait and wait and wait. Smeagan, who has got a kick. And who's that down on the track there? Can't actually see.
Number 69, Svetlana Pankova.
Well, not involved at the business end of the race here, but it's Smeagan and Zavialova. All credit to the bronze medalist from the 15-kilometer classic race. That was her first major senior championship, and she's taking on Peruzzi. And look who's moving up. Burakina also quiet as Becky Scott tries to counter-attack, and she's being preceded there by Evie Sackenbacher for Germany.
Zavialova really going for it now. Just like we were talking about, having to try to really push over those hills.
That's a Felix Gottwald move that we saw against Sampalainen. Right over the top, accelerate, foot down, try to get away. And now the question's got to be asked of Christina Smeagan on the left of your picture. Hilda Pedersen on the right there. Boy, is she racing toughly.
Looking at it now, I'm thinking it's really looking good for Evie Sackenbacher and both Christina Smeagan. Becky Scott's a little far back for me. Olga Savalova, though, maybe she can just ride this out. They're coming into the stadium here in about 30 seconds. This is what we were talking about, the huge kick at the finish.
Here goes Christina Smeagan, and look at the tempo. Smeagan goes absolutely storming. She took that roller and really pushed over it. That was a brilliant piece of acceleration. But watch for Sackenbacher on the right of your screen there, really charging now. The sprint medalist of the Olympic Games, Christina Smeagan for Estonia. She's got 2 silvers. She's bidding for gold. Germany with Sackenbacher and Kunzel in the fight there. But it's Smeagan who is the champion of the pursuit. Sakenbacher takes silver. Zavialova takes the bronze. Ahead of Pedersen and Peruzzi. Becky Scott in 6th place. Ahead of Burkina, Nagakina, Shevchenko. And Kunzel in the end down in something like 9th equal place. What a burn towards the end. But we said she was the smart racer, and she was.
It was amazing, that little spurt that she did like a speed skater there, just accelerating away from the top skiers in the world.
Not by much, and Evie Sakenbacher was getting closer with every stride. She needed about another 10, 15 meters, Sakenbacher, but the finish line in time, and it was a really positive move. Well, that's our first taste of the new pursuit, the duathlon, or the skiathlon, as the International Ski Federation would like us to call it from here on in. What do you think, Torren?
I think that this shows why this is such a viable way of racing. Just a great start, super quick tempo. You got to see who is the best skier at both techniques and had the awesome finish at the end.
And this is the sort of race which is going to attract audiences, particularly in your part of the world, I would have thought.
Oh, I think so. This is just, it gives it that little roller derby effect. Just true racing. It's like Carl Swenson said, you know, we've got some time trials and now it's time for the real racing when he's talking about these mass start races.
What you see is what you get, and Christina Smigen, look how close that was there for the silver medal between Sakenbacher and Zavialova. In fact, I'm not unconvinced. I think they've got, at the moment, exactly the same time, and we haven't got the official standings as yet, because Zavialova and Sakenbacher were virtually inseparable going across the line. Chance to look at this in slow motion, but it'd be really nice to see this as a freeze frame. Smigen. Well, that's 3 medals for her at these championships for the Estonian. And I guess Andrus Veerpalu was the man who was commanding all the Estonian headlines, but guess who's going to be on the front and the middle, as well as the back pages of all those Estonian newspapers. And today, well, it's a perfect day for Christina Smigen, because tomorrow she's 26. It's her birthday. What a day to win your gold medal. Tonight, she can have a little celebration from Otapa, and that's her first World Championship gold medal. She did have medals in 1999 in Ramsau, when she had a silver in the 15-kilometer classic style and a bronze in the 30-kilometer, the silver in the 15-kilometer freestyle and a bronze in the 30-kilometer classic. But here she's had 2 silvers in the opening 2 classic races, but now in the first ever duathlon, skiathlon pursuit race, she is the gold medalist. Zavialova making that move, but not one that ultimately was decisive enough, Torren.
I think it was a great move for her, though, just to really push the pace. If it would have came down to a big sprint at top 8, I think it would have been, she would have just been out of the medals.
And this is where she got away, and you saw there she got slightly off balance as Smigen went past her, but I think on reflection you're absolutely right. The move that Zavialova made effectively,
it made the race.
It also earned her a medal, her second medal of the championships. Well, Germany, incredibly, were looking for their first women's gold medal since 1980, when there was a race in that Olympic season which was not contested in the Olympic program. But they'll have to try again for that elusive gold medal, but nonetheless, it does emphasize the improving form. Now there, oh well, I was going to say there is the official result. Now they've taken it away. We still don't officially know, definitely, who has got silver and bronze, because on our computer here, both Sakenbacher and Zavialova are glued together at 6/10 behind Smigen, with Hilda Pedersen. Well, Hilda Pedersen must really hate 4th position, because she broke the cycle the other day in the 10-kilometer classic, getting that wonderful bronze medal. And here she is 48 hours later, and she's back to fourth. Now here we can see this finish for second place. Suckenbacher on the far side. Zabielova is closest to you as Smeegen goes across the line. Look for the boot, because that's where the timing goes. Suckenbacher looks. Now, does she get that boot there before Zabielova? That tells us nothing, because it's not on the ski tips. Wow. Well, I would, on that, I'd just about give it to Suckenbacher.
By the slimmest of margins.
You know, by a toenail. Half a toenail. It just looks to me that part of Suckenbacher's boot is across the line, whereas the very front of Zabielova's boot, but I mean, we're looking at something which is just an impression. We can't